In a quiet room of thought, where every idea is like a spark waiting to ignite, a story unfolds about the mysterious workings of the mind. Imagine the brain as a bustling city at night, a metropolis of lights, signals, and intricate pathways where memories are created and stored. Now picture this city suddenly under siege by an uncontrolled storm, where stress floods the streets and disrupts the delicate balance of its inner workings. This is the story of stress, hormones, and memory, a narrative guide that unveils the journey from chaos to calm, using imagery that is both visual and heartfelt. Scene 1. The delicate balance within. The story begins by introducing the mind's engine room, a realm where neurons communicate through delicate pulses of electricity and chemicals. In this bustling landscape, memories take root like gardens in fertile soil. In the heart of this city lies the hippocampus, a graceful archway to the realm of memory. Here, the seeds of experiences are sown, nurtured by a quiet, steady rhythm. The hippocampus is essential for transforming fleeting moments into lasting impressions. When you recall a cherished event or learn something new, it is the hippocampus that holds the key. Yet, as serene as this process appears, the brain is anything but static. Its very nature is dynamic, constantly adapting to both internal signals and the world outside. Here, in these wonder-filled circuits, the forces of nature come into play. Among these forces, stress stands out, an unpredictable meteor that can either sharpen the mind or cast it into disarray. Scene 2. The gathering storm. Stress arrives. Imagine the onset of stress as dark, rolling clouds gathering above the city. The flickering neon signs of memory formation become overshadowed by the ominous hum of impending danger. In this moment, the body responds, a cascade of signals is unleashed, and deep within the swirling tempest, stress hormones are released. Chief among them is cortisol. Cortisol, the messenger of stress, sweeps in like a tidal wave, flooding the brain with its powerful presence. Picture this hormone as thousands of tiny raindrops, each one carrying a torrential force that disrupts the orderly processes of the mind. Under normal conditions, these droplets might serve a helpful role, mobilizing the body for action in challenges that demand immediate attention. However, when this storm becomes chronic, a relentless, unyielding barrage, each drop contributes to a flooding that overwhelms the brain's ability to maintain order. In this cinematic representation, the hippocampus, with its tender neurons, stands vulnerable. Under the relentless patter of cortisol, the neurons in this memory hub begin to shiver and lose their grip. The dendrites, which are like the delicate branches of memory trees, struggle to connect and branch out. Instead, the constant deluge of cortisol disrupts their growth and even prunes them back, hindering the formation of new memory pathways. The camera slowly pans across a darkened landscape of flickering neural connections, a visual ballet depicting stress hormones swirling chaotically against the once orderly grid of the brain. Scene 3. The molecular dance of stress. Delving deeper, the process of stress affecting the mind becomes a subtle dance at the cellular level. Cortisol, though a vital component in the fight-or-flight response, plays a double-edged role. In acute moments, it clears the mind of unnecessary clutter and sharpens the senses, allowing the brain to focus on immediate survival tasks. Instead of being a harbinger of destruction, its swift, measured release acts as a temporary catalyst for heightened perception. But as the narrative unfolds into something more persistent, a chronic state of stress, the repeated signal leads to a cumulative effect. In this ongoing performance of biochemical signals, the hippocampus is forced to bear the brunt of cortisol's influence. Frequently bathed in this hormone, the neuronal circuits that once thrived on balance begin to falter. The once strong synapses, the bridges that link neurons together in a network of memory, start to break down. Over time, these essential connections fail, and the ability to consolidate short-term memories into long-term ones is compromised. Imagine for a moment a vivid montage. Images of brain cells shimmering with activity are gradually replaced with scenes in which these cells appear tired, their vibrant energies dampened by the relentless cascade of cortisol. The viewer witnesses an intricate interplay between chemical signals, each droplet of cortisol, leaving an indelible mark on neuronal cells, much like heavy rain erodes the details of a once intricate painting. Scene 4. The impact on memory. A storm within. As the narrative deepens, the focus shifts to how memory itself is affected by this internal tempest. The hippocampus is not merely a passive repository, it is an active sculptor of experiences, shaping the contours of who the person is and who they are becoming. When cortisol levels surge unchecked, the hippocampus's architecture begins to shift. The careful formation of memories is under siege. Each moment of stress subtly alters the brain's blueprint, making pathways that once led to clarity now dim and obscured. Consider a scene that unfolds like an intricate animation, a timeline made up of colorful threads representing memories. Under a gentle breeze, these threads glow and weave together into a beautiful tapestry of past experiences. However, as the wind changes to a storm, the threads are shaken loose, frayed and tangled. The once harmonious narrative of one's life begins to unravel, and the fabric of memory is stretched thin. The storyteller emphasizes that this unraveling is not immediate ruin, but a gradual, almost imperceptible erosion. Chronic stress, though often dismissed as a transient inconvenience, leaves a long-lasting imprint on the foundation of memory. The emotional tone is serious, reflective, a reminder that every human experience, from moments of joy to episodes of anxiety, is interwoven with the biology of our being. Scene 5, a beacon of hope, the calm after the storm. Yet, within this narrative of disruption and decay, there emerges a luminous thread of hope. Just as nature has its cycles, the relentless storm followed by the peaceful clarity of a calm day, the brain, too, is capable of restoration and renewal. The script now transitions to a new, spirited chapter, the journey from chaos back to balance. Imagine the storm clouds parting as the rain eases, the river of cortisol recedes, and the dark skies begin to clear. Here, a new force enters the scene. In place of the violent disruptions, relaxation techniques step forward as the guiding light that can restore equilibrium. Techniques such as deep breathing, mindfulness practices, and simply taking moments to engage with peaceful surroundings. Each act is like a gentle breeze that soothes the once turbulent brain. Visualize a sequence that unfolds like a gradual sunrise. The previously raging storm of chemicals behind the eyelids gently transitions to a warm, glowing light. In the center of this transformation, the hippocampus starts to repair itself. Neurons, which once quivered under relentless stress, begin to re-establish their connections, like new branches budding on a resilient tree. In this scene, the narrative emphasizes that while stress inflicts its toll, the balance can be restored. It is a message of renewal, a reminder that after every storm, there is a clear sky waiting to be embraced. The narrative takes time to highlight how this process unfolds. With each measured breath, the body signals a move toward recovery. The once frenzied pace down the neural corridors slows, allowing the message of calm to spread, a message that vibrates quietly, yet deeply within the brain's core. The hippocampal regions, ever essential for memory, begin to rebuild the bridges that were once weakened by stress, creating a pathway back to resilience. Here, every moment of calm is celebrated as a step toward reclaiming the inner sanctum of memory. Scene 6. The blueprint of recovery. Neural regulation and memory protection. As our cinematic journey approaches its conclusion, the focus shifts to a broader perspective, one that highlights the intricate architecture of the nervous system. The brain is more than a collection of isolated regions. It is a highly integrated network where every part communicates with another. When stress invades the system, it is not only the hippocampus that suffers. Other areas pick up the reverberations as well. However, the brain's inherent capacity for regulation provides a roadmap for healing and long-term protection. Picture a sprawling network, lit up like a circuit board. Each connection, whether it radiates from the hippocampus to the prefrontal cortex or to parts of the limbic system, is a testament to the brain's complex design. A narrative emerges. By understanding and harnessing techniques that promote neural balance, we are in fact safeguarding the very essence of who we are. The narrator explains that just as a conductor guides an orchestra, the nervous system can harmonize these diverse elements into a symphony that attains both power and beauty. In daily life, this harmony is not something that occurs by happenstance. Specific practices, physical exercise, guided meditation, quality sleep, balanced nutrition, serve to fine-tune the responses of the nervous system. They are like the skilled hands of a craftsman, restoring a masterpiece that has been marred by chaos. Over time, the repeated practice of these habits leads to an environment where memory can flourish without the constant threat of stress, undermining its foundations. The scene shifts toward a powerful, uplifting image, a nervous system skillfully regulating itself, each neuron firing in an orchestrated ballet. that depicts balance regained. This regulation is not merely about eliminating stress, it is about creating a proactive reservoir for mental health, a system that not only adapts but thrives in the face of life's inevitable challenges. In a way, this is a presentation of a natural law, where balance is the ultimate guardian of memory and well-being. Scene 7. Weaving the threads of understanding. A call to embrace balance. Throughout the unfolding narrative, the viewer is invited to see not just the scientific intricacies, but also the poetic interplay between nature and the mind. The metaphor of the storm and the calm highlights a universal truth. Life is marked by periods of turbulence and intervals of serenity. In moments of stress, the brain often turns to its survival instincts, flooding itself with hormones that are designed to protect. But when overused, these same signals can erode the very processes they were meant to defend. Yet, embedded within this revelation is a call to action, a reminder that every individual holds the power to shape their mental landscape. By understanding how stress affects memory, one can choose to foster habits that shield the mind. The narrative underscores that when the mind experiences chronic stress, the effects are tangible, affecting everything from the vividness of recollections to the capacity for learning new ideas. Imagine an illustration that shows the brain as a living, breathing canvas. On this canvas, the strokes of stress are etched as dark, aggressive lines that distort the intricate portrait of memory. In contrast, the strokes of relaxation bring vibrant hues back to the picture, transforming it into a masterpiece of resilience and calm. The narrator speaks directly to the observer, urging them to consider their own life. How often do stressors cloud the clarity of thought? And how can moments of conscious calm serve as repairs on the mosaic of memory? The story gently encourages its audience to seek out these moments of quiet, a brief walk amid nature, a few minutes of deep contemplation, or the simple act of focusing on one's breath. With each moment dedicated to ease, the brain repairs its intricate web of connections. The narrative speaks in a tone that is both serious and hopeful, a salute to the inherent strength within the human body and mind, a reminder that regulation and recovery lie just a heartbeat away. Scene 8. The journey continues, an invitation to explore. As the video reaches its final minutes, the narrative draws together the threads of science, art, and self-care. It is a reminder that while the complexity of stress and memory may appear daunting at first glance, at its core, the subject is beautifully simple. Our brains are resilient, and just as a storm can be weathered, so too can episodes of stress be managed with wisdom and care. The final montage of the film returns to the imagery of the brain as a resilient city, a network of glowing lights, reclaiming their brilliance. Here, once again, the hippocampus is shown as a quiet sanctuary, where memories are nurtured under a sky that has finally cleared. The powerful message is clear. Through the compassionate regulation of our nervous system, we unlock the ability to protect and preserve what makes us unique: our memory, our history, and our potential for growth. The closing scene is both a summary and an open invitation, a call to embrace the practices that lead to a peaceful mind. Every deep breath, every moment of mindfulness, every conscious step away from the heavy tide of chronic stress contributes to building a fortress for memory. This is the story of neural resilience, a reminder that behind the challenges lie keys to transformation, keys that promise the possibility of light after the darkest nighttime storm. In this cinematic portrayal, the viewer is left with a visual of balance emerging from chaos, a scene where the turbulent hues of a stress-induced storm gradually give way to a serene palette of soft pastels, representing calm, clear skies. The narrative rings with hope, a kind of quiet assurance that while we cannot always control the storms that break upon our shores, we can choose how we rebuild, how we recover, and ultimately, how we protect our memories. Ending on a reflective note, the script is a testament to the power of understanding and the beauty of recovery. It affirms that, regardless of the challenges posed by chronic stress, the mind is capable of self-healing. Through dedicated practices and an awareness of our inner workings, we can restore not only our memory, but also our zest for life. For the mind is a canvas, and every act of self-care is a deliberate stroke toward a picture of balance, peace, and resilience. By exploring these concepts in a narrative that merges science, art, and personal empowerment, we are reminded that the struggle against stress is not a battle fought in isolation. It is a shared journey, a journey that connects each of us in the delicate art of preserving our most treasured memories. With each conscious breath, the chaos recedes, and the symphony of the nervous system tunes itself to a harmonious melody. And in that melody, one finds the promise that balance, like a gentle echo across time, will always return. Thus, as the final words fade into the calm after the storm, the invitation remains to treat every moment with mindfulness, to accept the ebb and flow of life's challenges, and to remember that in the heart of every storm lies the seed of renewal. The narrative has shown that the key to protecting memory is found not in the relentless fight against stress, but in finding our center amidst the noise. It is here, in the space of mindful presence, that the brain rediscovers its power and transforms adversity into quiet fortitude.